Hello and very warm welcome at Amish Shackle 5858. I am Amish Shackle. Foreign news have been reported by American, European, Asian, African, Australian news channels and the news agencies. So please let's go to the headlines.
Tonight, the breaking news on this night, this major storm, hundreds of accidents, snow, ice, and freezing rain sweeping in. And now the potential for a nor'easter forming as it pushes into dangerous driving, the accidents on the highways, record snowfall in multiple states. More than 75 million Americans under alerts right now. Ginger Z standing by with the forecast. Also tonight, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth under growing scrutiny for authorizing 2 strikes on an alleged drug boat. The first strike taking out the boat. Tonight, questions about the second strike, reportedly targeting 2 survivors. The Washington Post reporting Hegseth ordered his team to kill everybody on board the boat. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle now asking serious questions tonight and what President Trump is now saying about that second strike. Tonight, President Trump the White House news on the surviving guard member, what he did in that hospital room, and we're now learning about the suspect. Overseas U.S. envoy on his Vladimir in Moscow. The key question that remains: the verdict for a missing high school football coach in the middle of an undefeated season. The U.S. Marshal now involved, warning coach could be harmed. The images of the £100 surprise under the house tonight. Simon Cowell is now saying about his insults on those early days of American Idol. And it's that time of year, our Made in America Christmas is back, 14 years and counting. Your ideas coming in, and we start tonight with one that's growing nearly as fast as our Made in America Christmas.
I know, Kat, there were a lot of white people who said awful things, and they got completely reamed. But he's different, because he's black.
Yeah, my heart really goes out to him. I just can't imagine what it would be like to have people criticizing my appearance on their net. Like, all of us here have dealt with that. Like, everybody who's ever been in public anything, it's a horrible place.
Literally criticizing you right now.
Yeah, it's a horrible...
I know, Kat, there were a lot of white people who said awful things, and they got completely reamed. But he's different, because he's black.
Yeah, my heart really goes out to him. I just can't imagine what it would be like to have people criticizing my appearance on the internet. Like, all of us here have dealt with that. Like, everybody who's ever been in public anything, it's a horrible place.
Literally criticizing you right now.
Yeah, it's a horrible...
Say she looks like a realtor from Selling Sunset.
It's just, you don't have, unfortunately, you don't have to say the stuff that he said to deal with any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that it didn't really land very well.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody who could watch that and be like, yeah, except he does seem like really nervous and weird. He should have just been, there's nothing to say except for you messed up at that point.
Yeah.
There's really nothing to say except that.
And go away. That's what the brave people do, is you go away. You don't even need to be around, Tyrus. Is this guy using race to deflect for his own accountability?
No, he's not. He should be. I would be. But there's a problem. He's a debater.
Yeah, I know.
He didn't help himself. He didn't give us the debatable other side of the argument. He only proved what the people online were saying.
Yeah.
You're a DEI hire.
Yeah.
You're not qualified. Well, I'll verbally explain why I am not those things. And while he did it, we're like, yep, you're a DEI hire. Like, you said what you said was horrible, right? And people say horrible things. That's fine. And if you want to stand by it, that's your right, at least over here. But if you are going to apologize, if you choose to man up and say, I was wrong, you've got to own it. That's not owning it. That's saying, I said it, but I didn't understand. Which further proves your DEI-ness.
Yeah.
You're so stupid that you didn't know when someone gets assassinated that they die?
Yes.
Like, just breaks down his don't do podcasts anymore, which is terrible for somebody who has the title of being in charge of debating. He couldn't even debate his ass out of that. I would hate to see him in a conversation in a relationship if he get caught doing something. It's terrible. This guy, the worst thing he could ever do in his life again is talk.
Monday night, major cuts at a Canadian steel producer. Why 1,000 workers are losing their jobs.
It's hard to see this happen to all the members.
Mounting pressure, the growing frustration with Alberta's premier from within her own party and outside it. New recommendations for weight loss drugs.
These new medicines are a powerful clinical tool offering hope to millions.
The skinny on the World Health Organization's first guidelines. Plus, a product of the outrage machine.
It seems appropriate.
What's behind rage bait? Oxford Dictionary's word of the year. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Canada's steel industry is taking another hit thanks to the tariffs imposed by the U.S. president. Algoma Steel, Canada's only independent publicly traded primary steel producer, is laying off 1,000 workers from its plant in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Some layoffs were expected because the company is changing how it produces steel, replacing a blast furnace with an electric furnace, but the timeline has now been accelerated by a year. Jillian Piper has our top story tonight.
Algoma builds what Canada needs right now.
Prime Minister Mark Carney promised to protect Canadian steelworkers in the face of punishing U.S. tariffs.
We're also using all levers available. Everything that's available to the government to support our steel industry.
But those levers, including a $400 million loan from Ottawa to Algoma, were not enough, with the company announcing layoffs just 7 months later. Algoma will transition to electric arc furnace steelmaking a year earlier than previously anticipated, the company's statement reads in part. Algoma has made the difficult decision to issue approximately 1,000 layoff notices today.
Good morning, it is 7 o'clock and welcome to Mornings with Richard Frost.
With Sophie and Wilf, good morning from me as well. Lots ahead.
The Justice Secretary plans a major overhaul of the Crown Court, hoping to clear the backlog and hand more support to victims.
The budget fallout continues. Trust in government is lower than during the Liz Truss era, according to new polling.
The boss of NHS England calls a new resident doctor strike planned in the run-up to Christmas totally reckless behaviour.
Also today, how safe do women feel on the streets? From runners to buskers, we'll be hearing your experiences ahead of a major report into safety out later today.
Sky News joins Spanish police on a mission to intercept drug runners on a notorious route from Africa.
A very good morning to you. Well, the Justice Secretary, David Lammy, will announce major reforms to the criminal justice system, scrapping juries in thousands of less serious cases, stopping short of a more radical potential plan to drop jury trials after backlash from the legal profession last week.
So the changes are aimed at clearing the backlog in the Crown Court, of course.
police victims waiting years to see such justice.
An independent inquiry into sexual violence in the military to go ahead next year. A woman killed and another seriously injured in a wall collapse on a Brisbane construction site. Woolworths accused of exploiting affordable housing schemes to get rejected building projects approved. And the government vows to big tech, abandoning plans to establish standalone laws to regulate the development of artificial intelligence. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm Joe O'Brien. A landmark inquiry into
Asia Now.
It's 3 p.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 12:30 in New Delhi, and 2 o'clock in Jakarta. I'm Paul Singh. At this hour, the death toll on the rise across Asia after powerful storms triggered devastating floods and landslides. Nearly 1,200 people have died in Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and Malaysia, with rescue crews racing to reach cut-off communities. Hong Kong's leader orders an independent committee to uncover the truth behind the city's deadliest fire in decades. John Lee calling for a systemic reform as investigators link the rapid spread of the blaze to substandard netting. South Korea's president demands tougher penalties, calling a massive data breach at the e-commerce giant Coupang a wake-up call after it exposes more than 30 million users.
Territory.
This is DW News, live from Berlin. Russia claims a key battlefield victory in Ukraine. The Kremlin says that Russian troops have captured the strategic city of Petrovsk. The logistics hub has been under attack for months in Russia's effort to take the Donetsk region. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff heads to Moscow for talks with President Putin on ending the war. The White House says it's very often a deal can be reached. And too close to call in Honduras' presidential election. Two leading candidates are separated by just a few hundred votes. Plus, rescue groups are going undercover to remove children from sex trafficking. But a DW investigation finds some charities may be putting children at risk. Girls in the Philippines say that they were abused by men who were supposed to save them.
The news.
A high-level delegation from ECOWAS has ended its mediation mission to Guinea-Bissau without a breakthrough. But representatives of the West African regional bloc and key leaders would continue. ECOWAS wants to restore civilian rule following a week's military coup. The solution to returning to constitutional order is to continue collaborating with ECOWAS. A one-year deadline has been set for the end of transition, and the issue will be submitted to the ECOWAS Conference of Heads of State on December 14th. Depending on the one that follows it, we will know next steps. ECOWAS had a coup and called for President Umaro Sissoko Embalo to be reinstated. He fled to Brazzaville after being detained, and the military-installed former Army Chief General Walter Inter-R is head of a transitional government. The military happened as a result of president-elect.
Bintou Keita has stepped down from her position as special and head of the nearly 5 years. The Guinean diplomat left Kinshasa on Sunday, according to a UN press release. The MONUSCO described her early departure, which was initially expected in February 2026, as a personal decision. Bintou Keita was first appointed at the helm of the UN peacekeeping mission in Congo in January 2021. She became the second woman and first woman from sub-Saharan Africa to lead the MONUSCO. Her time in office was marked by several crises. Just a few months after her nomination, the response to the eruption of the Nyiragongo volcano near Goma. In the past year, she had to deal with renewed violence from M23 in eastern Congo. The Rwanda-backed rebel group seized Goma and Bukavu in the first weeks of 2025. Keita held talks with M23 representatives in June. Her deputies would assume interim leadership for the weeks to come.
African leaders meeting in Algiers on Sunday called for colonial-era crimes to be formally recognised, criminalised and compensated for through an African Union-backed reparations process. The AU resolution was passed at a summit in May that pushed to define colonisation as a crime against humanity. Participants stressed the massive economic damage done by colonisation in Africa as European powers plundered the continent's natural resources, leaving communities impoverished. Algeria's Foreign Minister Ahmed Attaf said hosting the meeting in his country was symbolic, given Algeria's experience under French rule. Nearly 1 million French settlers held greater political and economic privileges than Algerians, even though Algeria was legally part of France. Hundreds of
Thank you for watching Amish Shakil 5858. I am Amish Shakil. I hope you will visit again. Have a good life. Bye-bye.